Welcome to the Genealogy Gems podcast, providing quick and innovative ways to make the absolute most out of your research time and creative ideas for sharing and displaying your family history. I'm your host, Lisa Louise Cook. Hello, dear friends. I hope you are doing well. I'm publishing this episode a little bit early so that you'll have time to listen before the Thanksgiving holiday begins. I've got lots of pies to bake and a house to clean, just like you do, I'm sure. But I'm really looking forward to having the whole family around the table this year. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving more in just a minute, but I have a few other items to start us off with. You may have seen Genealogy Gems mentioned on page 14 of the November-December 2007 issue of Ancestry magazine. And I just got my January 2008 issue of Family Tree magazine and saw that they published my letter to the editor regarding podcasting. I wrote in about an article that they had published in the September issue of the magazine, and it was about podcasting. It's very easy to get confused about the ins and outs of creating a podcast, and whether it's a good format for sharing recorded oral family histories. Now, on this subject, I tend to err on the side of caution when distributing personal family information, because once you let something loose on the internet, there is no pulling it back. It can be copied and sometimes even changed and redistributed at anybody's whim. So while we all know that we're good guys, we are wise enough to know that not everyone out there is a good guy or has our best interests at heart. So I gave some recommendations in my letter to Family Tree about how you can post and share family information while retaining some control over it. And that's a really big concept in today's world with social networking and websites popping up here and there. They're all more than happy to allow us to post all of our family information, our documents, and our photos on their websites. But in the end, these companies are focused on the bottom line and the happiness of their investors. And truth be told, that does come before your interests when you give them something that belongs to you and your family. Now, I'm not saying don't post stuff. I'm not. I'm just trying to say let's keep the big picture and our family's security in mind. And this would be a really interesting topic for conversation on the Genealogy News blog. Maybe I'll try to post some questions on there soon for you on the subject, and we can talk about it because I'd love to hear what you think. So anyway, that's just something to keep in mind. And if you've ever considered posting your audio files, take a look not only at my letter, but at their previous article to get some ideas on that. Well, next I've got some new videos for you at the Genealogy Gems website. First up is a video in the Genealogy for the Next Generation section of the website, and it's called Family History Research Child Detectives. And it's all about getting your kids interested in their family history. It was produced by Genealogy Junction in the United Kingdom, and they provide some getting started documents for free download from their website at genealogyjunction.com. I'll have a link to their homepage as well as a link directly to the family history information sheet that they offer. I'll have those in the episode 34 show notes. So take a look at that. It's a great inspiration for getting your kids started in their interest in family history or your grandkids. Our next video is really fantastic, and it's part of the new music channel on the Genealogy Gems website. It's a beautiful song called Family Tree, and it's by a band that you may not have heard of before, but they're called Venice, as in Venice, California, in Southern California. I actually have two videos there for you, Family Tree and another really inspiring song called Circle of Life. And no, it's not the Disney song. Be sure and make time to watch these videos. I know you're going to love them. And our final new video is a very moving video highlighting a collection of photographs at the Library of Congress's American Memory Collection. And they are taken by Lewis Hines of child labor in the early 19th century. You'll see a link for that in the show notes as well in the resources section under research. Now, on to the mailbox. I got an email from Linda in Sweden this week, and she writes, "Hi, Lisa. I just wanted to email and tell you how much I like and enjoy your podcast. I found out about it through Anna Karin Shander's podcast. And as you know, Anna Karin does one on Swedish and American genealogy. She says, I downloaded all the episodes and I'm finally up to date. That's a big job. She says, I'm on my way ahead in the project of making the Christmas wreath, and I'm hoping to finish it this weekend. It will hang in my parents' house. I promise to send you a picture of it when it's all done. And she says, in one of the podcasts, I heard you talking about The Emigrants, a book by Wilhelm Moberg. I think it was even Anna Karin who mentioned them. Well, those books are just wonderful. And if you don't feel like reading, there is also 2 movies made after the books, which I really, really would recommend. I think they should be available. And she provides a link for that, which I'll have for you in the show notes. You know, when I read Linda's email and I saw that there was an Immigrants movie, what do you think I did next? Come on, you know me by now. I went straight to eBay and I bought a copy, of course. Where is that mailman? I can't wait to watch it. It should be terrific. I think they were produced back in the 70s, and I think Liv Ullmann stars in them. If you enjoyed the Immigrants book, or you would enjoy a great immigration story, go to the episode 34 show notes, and you'll find the link there that Linda provided for information about the videos. And thank you so much, Linda, for letting us know about that. And Linda did follow up and email me photos of her gorgeous family history wreath. You guys are awesome, the way you just run with ideas that we talk about here on the show. So you can take a look at the photos in the show notes and be inspired to get busy making a family history wreath of your own. Next, we have a letter from Barbara Murphy. And Barbara writes, Hi, Lisa. I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciated your candy bar idea. Last month, my husband's family had a reunion to honor his mother who passed away last year. I created candy bars for the reunion using your idea. Since Mama was an avid crocheter, I found a background of a crocheted doily and added 2 different photos that fit the theme. I designed it so that I could fit 2 on each 8.5 by 11 sheet, and then I printed a master copy. I then took my master to Office Max and had them make 50 copies. After wrapping a mixture of Hershey milk chocolate bars and Hershey milk chocolate with almonds, yum, I filled a basket with the 100 candy bars, tied a bow on the basket handle, and they were given out as mementos. I'm attaching a picture of the filled basket. Thank you again. I received many compliments. I also want to let you know about the genealogy databases the genealogy societies on Long Island have put together online. She says the German, Irish, and Italian groups have worked to get these indexes online. Please check them out at either the ggg.org or italiangen.org. And of course, I'll have those links for you. And then she finishes with, thanks for the info on how I can keep you doing your podcast. I definitely will be going through the webpage to Amazon in the future. Well, thank you, Barbara, for your email. I really appreciate how so many of you have let me know that you would support the production of this show by clicking on the website sponsor links. I really appreciate that. We don't want any commercials on this podcast, right? And Barbara's candy bars are so precious. I absolutely love her use of the background crochet image that she did. What a wonderful way to make the candy even more personal. And the photo of her candy bar is available in the show notes as well. And if you're struggling for stocking stuffer ideas, there's still plenty of time to make the Swee Memories candy bars, which I described in detail in episode 20, and in my book, Genealogy Gems, Ultimate Research Strategies, which is available at genealogygems.tv. And I will, of course, also have links for you in the show notes for those Genealogy Society databases that Barbara mentioned. Our last item is a follow-up on Google Gadgets. I got an email from Meg Baker, who developed the wonderful American Memory Google Gadget that I told you about in episode 33. She writes, I just wanted you to know that there are also several other genealogy gadgets I've created. You can preview them at my website, where there are Add to Google buttons available for easily adding them to your iGoogle page. I haven't created any new ones in a while, but I'm open to suggestions. Thanks, Meg Baker. Well, I will, of course, have a link to Meg's site in the episode 34 show notes. She's got some great ones there. I've already added them to my iGoogle homepage. So that's a great idea. Go check those out. Well, coming up next, a Thanksgiving celebration. When I was a teenager, the holidays such as Thanksgiving could be sort of tough because my parents were divorced and my sister was married and gone, and I just sort of felt like I didn't have much of a family. Then I got married and was happy to have a new, larger family to be part of. Then I had my own children, and I realized that God gave me a second chance at having that warm, loving nuclear family that I craved so much. Well, family history is another one of those second chances that we've been given. The more I learn about my ancestors, the more connected I feel. The more I realize that I have a very large, amazing family, and that though some of them may be gone, they can still be part of my life. There's so much to be thankful for, no matter where we are in life's journey. And thankfully, there are more opportunities than ever to expand and learn about our family tree. I think this episode will be a great opportunity for us to think about what we're thankful for and to learn more about the history of Thanksgiving and of the United States. Now, don't worry about taking notes because I'll have resource links for you and your family to explore in the episode 34 show notes. This gem is a celebration of that history. So curl up in your favorite chair with a cup of hot cocoa and join me for this audio Thanksgiving celebration. We'll start with George Washington's Thanksgiving Proclamation, written on October 3rd, 1789. It was the first official presidential proclamation issued in the United States.
Whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor. And whereas both houses of Congress have, by their joint committee, requested me to recommend to the people of the United States a day of public thanksgiving and prayer, to be observed by acknowledging with grateful hearts the many and signal favors of Almighty God, especially by affording them an opportunity peaceably to establish a form of government for their safety and happiness. Now, therefore, I do recommend and assign Thursday, the 26th day of November, next, to be devoted by the people of these states to the service of the great and glorious Being who is the beneficent author of all good that was, that is, or that will be, that we may then unite in rendering unto Him our sincere and humble thanks for His kind care and protection of the people of this country previous to their becoming a nation, for the signal and manifold mercies and the favorable interpositions of His providence in the course and conclusion of the late war, for the great degree of tranquility, union, and plenty which we have since enjoyed, for the peaceable and rational manner in which we have been enabled to establish constitutions of government for our safety and happiness, and particularly the national one now lately instituted for civil and religious liberty, with which we are blessed, and the means we have of acquiring and diffusing useful knowledge, and in general for all the great and various favors which He has pleased to confer upon us. And also that we may then unite in most humbly offering our prayers and supplications to the great Lord and ruler of nations, and beseech Him to pardon our national and other transgressions, to enable us all, whether in public or private stations, to perform our several and relative duties properly and punctually, to render our national government a blessing to all the people by constantly being a government of wise, just, and constitutional laws, discreetly and faithfully executed and obeyed, to protect and guide all sovereigns and nations, especially such as given us kindness, and to bless them with good governments, peace, and concord, to promote the knowledge and practice of true religion and virtue, and the increase of science among them and us, and generally to grant unto all mankind such a degree of temporal prosperity as he alone knows to be best. Given under my hand at the city of New York, the 3rd day of October, A.D. 1789.
What shall the harvest be? Sung by the Mendelssohn Mixed Quartet, Edison Record. Sowing the seed by the daylight fair, sowing the seed by the noonday glare, sowing the seed by the fading light, sowing the seed in the solemn night. Oh, what shall the harvest be? Oh, what shall the harvest be? Sowing in the darkness, sowing in the sunlight, sowing in our weakness, sowing in our might, sowing our weakness, sowing in our might. Gathered in love for eternity, sure of joy will harvest day. So in the darkness, so in the darkness, so in our weakness, so in our might, so in our weakness, so in our might, gathered in love for eternity, sure of joy will harvest day.
Sarah Josepha Hale, editor of Godey's Lady's Book, deserves recognition as the mother of the American Thanksgiving. The following editor's column was part of the long campaign by Ms. Hale to get Thanksgiving accepted as a national holiday in the United States. Our National Thanksgiving. All the blessings of the fields, all the stores the gardens yields, all the plenty summer pours, autumn's rich, overflowing stores, peace, prosperity, and health, private bliss and public wealth, knowledge with its gladdening streams, pure religion's holier beams. Lord, for those our souls shall raise, grateful vows and solemn praise. We are most happy to agree with the large majority of the governors of the different states, shown in their unanimity of action for several past years, in which we hope will this year be adopted by all, that the last Thursday in November shall be the day of national Thanksgiving for the American people. Let this day, from this time forth, as long as our banner of stars float on the breeze, be the grand Thanksgiving holiday of our nation, when the noise and tumult of worldliness may be exchanged for the laugh of happy children, the glad greetings of family reunion, and the humble gratitude of the Christian heart. This truly American festival falls this year on the 25th day of this month. Let us consecrate the day to benevolence of action by sending good gifts to the poor and doing those deeds of charity that will, for one day, make every American home the place of plenty and of rejoicing. These seasons of refreshing are of inestimable advantage to the popular heart, and if rightly managed, will greatly aid and strengthen public harmony of feeling. Let the people of the United States and Territories sit down together to the feast of fat things and drink in the sweet draught of joy and gratitude to the divine giver of all our blessings, the pledge of renewed love to the Union and to each other, and of peace and goodwill to all men. Then the last Thursday in November will soon become the day of American Thanksgiving throughout the world. Sarah Hale was the first to urge equal education for American girls, the first to suggest public playgrounds, and the first editor of the first woman's magazine in America. She authored 24 books and hundreds of poems, and you probably would recognize one of her most famous, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And the thing that strikes me about her that makes her pretty amazing is that she did all of this after she turned 40 years old. She was widowed and penniless at the age of 34 with 5 children, and she supported herself with sewing and writing poetry. It wasn't until the age of 39 that Northwood, her first novel, became a huge success. She went on to serve as the editor of the Ladies Magazine, and later she moved to Godey's Ladies Book in Philadelphia. She continued to write and edit until she was 89 years old, and she died at the age of 91. About Thanksgiving, Sarah wrote, "There is a deep moral influence in these periodical seasons for rejoicing, in which whole communities participate. They bring out the best sympathies in our natures." By the year 1863, when Lincoln did issue his now famous Thanksgiving Proclamation, Sarah had already written him thousands of letters. In 1859, she wrote in an editorial, "If every state would join the Union, Thanksgiving on the 24th of this month, would it not be a renewed pledge of love and loyalty to the Constitution of the United States?" It's not surprising that she felt this way on the eve of the Civil War. So as you say your prayers of thanks and raise your glasses and toast Sarah Josepha Hale for bringing you all together on this national holiday. And now we'll close with one of America's oldest folk songs, a tune popularized in the 1830s. Let's have a little turkey fun with Turkey in the Straw. Thanks for joining me today for this special edition of the Genealogy Gems podcast. I hope you enjoyed our Thanksgiving celebration. And I want you to know that this year I am definitely going to be giving thanks for all of you, because without you, there is no Genealogy Gems podcast. So thank you. And next week, got a couple things going on. Got Thanksgiving going on, and actually my youngest daughter is going in for some surgery. So I'm going to be doing the thing that is most important, and that is the family thing. So I won't be publishing a podcast for next week, but that hopefully will give you a little extra time to spend with your loved ones and your family. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you feel like dropping me a line over the next 2 weeks, feel free at genealogygemspodcast@gmail.com. And as always, certainly check in with the website, genealogygems.tv. I'm going to be posting quite a few new items there to go alongside with this new podcast. So check out the website. You'll see some new videos, some new resources. And don't forget to check in with the Genealogy Gems news blog. I think that'll be a fun way for us to get to communicate. So for now, friend, have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.